Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to a new YouTube video. In this episode, I actually got to play around with a camera that I've never tried before, and that is the Hasselblad Xpan. Now, I've been wanting to try out the Xpan for a while now, specifically because this camera is very unique in the fact that you can shoot panoramic images right in the camera itself. And I've used a panoramic setup before, which is actually the panoramic adapter on my Mamiya 7 II, which I do not own anymore because I found the setup to be a little bit cumbersome and tough to use. Now, this camera is all of that much more simplified with the legendary Hasselblad series of lenses. I was really excited to try it out. I was able to rent this camera just for the weekend and put about 5 rolls through it. Now, the first place that I wanted to go test this system out was, of course, Griffith Observatory. Now, I wanted to go here at sunset when the light was really nice and soft, and it did not disappoint. Now, the first thing that I obviously really love about this camera is the incredible aspect ratio that you get to shoot in. Being able to shoot this natively in the camera itself is pretty amazing, and it lends itself to a lot of really incredible scenes. I think any normal scene shot in this ratio feels a lot more like cinema, feels like it's a still out of a movie, and it's very fun to use. With this camera, it was fun to shoot a mix of people and environments and different landscapes just to see kind of what worked out the best. My night at Griffith was really beautiful. I was able to put a couple rolls through this camera. I wasn't sure exactly how these scans would turn out, but this photo in particular is one of my favorites that I've taken all of this year. I just love the feeling that it gives, the warm shadows mixed in with the faint sun in the sky with downtown LA in the distance. Just a beautiful photo. And capturing it on the Hasselblad Xpan itself is just so fun. Now, this video is by no means an actual review. I just had the camera again for a weekend, but in those 2 days, I was able to head not only to Griffith, but also to one of my favorite beaches in Malibu for a sunset. And I headed out just for a couple hours to catch some golden hour, as well as a few hours beforehand just to see what I could get. Now this beach in particular, Leo Carrillo, is one of my favorite places to go. You guys have probably seen this beach in several different YouTube videos here on the channel, but this beach is just really special to me and it never really fails for sunset. I love going here because you get this absolutely amazing golden glow. There's not really anything blocking the sun, so you do get sunset right up until the sun dips below the horizon line, below the beach, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I think what was fun about these specific locations is I go to these spots very often. Griffith and Malibu are two of my favorite places to go check out in LA. And being able to go here with kind of a new eye and a new camera setup to try was really fun. I found myself composing for scenes that I wouldn't necessarily normally shoot just because of the aspect ratio that I could shoot everything in. And that was really fun to kind of mess around and try something new. I found that a lot of the scenes that I would typically see on a sunset at Griffith or a sunset at Malibu became a lot more interesting just because I was able to capture such a wide field of view. Now with this setup, I was able to get two different lenses, the 45mm and the 90mm, and I enjoyed using both of these lenses. They were really fun to use, tack sharp, and they focused really easily within the rangefinder system. I mainly shot Portra 400 in this camera. I just felt like it was a nice, simple stock that I know looks good no matter what, and the images did not disappoint. I think this is my favorite image of the entire weekend. I shot in Malibu and I was able to shoot with the 90mm, so I was compressing the background quite a bit, and I was able to get this really beautiful shot of the sunset with these people just playing on the water, with the golden glow behind, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Now with all this being said, the Xpan itself is a really unique camera in the sense that it's really only used for this kind of photography. You can also switch it to just your standard 35mm mode as well as the panoramic view. So if you want to shoot just normal images and get 36 frames, you can also do that. I found when I was shooting in panoramic mode, I was getting between 20 and 21 images per roll. Now, there's a reason I rented this camera and didn't purchase it, because it is a very niche camera made for very specific things. I think for people who enjoy landscape photography or street photography, this camera is pretty amazing when it comes to that. And you're going to be able to capture really interesting scenes, really wide fields of view, and your images are just going to feel really cinematic. And a lot of times it's probably going to even feel like it's taken right out of a movie. And in this sense, I think this camera is very much worth it for people who really enjoy that kind of photography. Now, I think for the everyday shooter who enjoys shooting landscapes and portraits, and just capturing your daily life, I don't think this camera is necessarily great for that. I think there are many other options that are way better for that. But for me, I just wanted to rent it and see what it was like to shoot with, and I had a blast. Now, with all this being said, it was a very fun weekend shooting with the Xpan, and I really enjoyed my time with it. The images themselves are stunning, and it was really fun to shoot in the panoramic mode just to see what these normal everyday scenes look like in a really interesting aspect ratio. I'll leave a link down in the description if you guys want to check out any of the images that I shot with the Xpan. I think with this incredible glass and the amazing scans that I was able to get from this camera, you should definitely look at them on something other than just this YouTube video. I'm going to be sharing some over on my Instagram as well, which I'll leave linked down in the description. But overall, I really enjoyed my time with this camera. That's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions about the Xpan down in the comments. Again, I'm not an expert on this camera by any means. I just wanted to rent it for a few days and see what I thought. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next week. Before this video wraps up, I did want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, which is Squarespace, for sponsoring today's episode. As you guys probably know by now, Squarespace is a longtime supporter of this YouTube channel and my creative endeavors. I've used Squarespace for many, many years now, and it is just simply put the best way to make a website to display your work. As a photographer going on 10 years now, I've used Squarespace for the majority of my career, and it just makes sense. It's so simple, it's easy to use, and you don't have to stress about things you don't know how to do. Everything from design to layout options, templates, and font choices, Squarespace makes it very easy to design the website that works best for you. If you guys are interested in checking out Squarespace for yourself, there is a link in the description to receive 10% off your first website or domain purchase. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode, and we'll see you guys next week.